Pendulum! Welcome back to OCG Thursday. Make sure you guys smash the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more cool deck profiles. So, we're going to be exploring what the OCG is going to be doing for their new list. And of course, you always get the chance. The OCG is very prominent with shooting, tournaments ahead of schedule. We're like 2 weeks away from the list being effective, and we've already got some cool results here. So the first list we're going to be looking at here is Altergeist with their freshly put to 3 Melizik. Must be nice. So OCG still has some stuff that we don't have. One of them is Pukuri here. So if an Altergeist monster you control would be used as link material, or an Altergeist monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. If an Altergeist link monster is link summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, it gets to come back to your hand. Now there's I think the OCG was ruling it if you could use like Melizik or something else to make a link summon, well you can just straight make a Hextia. So yeah, kind of really weird interaction there. Definitely when the TCG gets this, we'll see if we get the same level of interaction with that, but it's kind of interesting. So ratios here still pretty much the same for what you would expect versus TCG and OCG. So we have 1 copy of Kunguri, our special summon negator, and yeah, just that's it. 2 copies of Marionetter to set our good traps. We have 1 copy of Multi-Faker. Still laughing that this is limited in the OCG to 1. It was really weird seeing that Multi-Faker and Melizik were both limited, but alright. We also have 1 staying in because, we have to be able to search for our Multi-Faker. It's really sad, actually. 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. 2 copies of Silguidos, even in the OCG. They agree. 2 Silguidos are bust, alright? 3 copies of Maxi. Yeah, gotta draw lots of cards. 3 copies of Melizik. So just make the Owl Mirage, just make the Link Kribo, get a free search. And then, of course, 1 Pukuri, because, like I said, this card making link climbing all the easier for this deck is actually insanity. Alright, so we have 1 for 1. We can search for Melizik with that. That's busted. 3 copies of Extrab, because we don't care about our... You can judge by what you're going to not need in certain matchups. Besides, it's not like you don't have plenty of resources that you can't trash. Same thing here, Prosperity. Plenty of resources you can trash. 1 copy Mystic Mind, because sometimes the format gets really degenerate. We're going to need the counter pick. Traps, we have 2 Manifestation, 1 Torrential, 1 Metaverse, 2 copies of Summon Limit, 2 copies of Protocol, 3 copies of Personal Spoofing, 1 Appear Order, and then we're playing 1 Emmanuel Elf. I know a lot of people in the TCG don't like Emmanuel Elf. I understand why this card can be appealing in some situations, but it's fine. We have 2 copies of Solemn Strike and 1 Solemn Judgment. Extract down here. We have 2 Owl Mirage, 1 Link Karibo, triple Hextia, 1 Phoenix, 2 copies of the Prime Banshee, 1 Unicorn, 1 copy of Access Code, and then our Memory Gant here. So, 2 plus Altergeist to make this. Alright, during the battle phase, quick effect, you can tribute 1 other monster. Alright, of course, has to be yours. I know other people try to get cheesy with this. This card gains attack equal to the attack of the tributed monster head on the field. When this card destroys opponent's monster by battle, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and if you do, this card can make a 2nd attack in a row. If this card will be destroyed, you can banish 1 monster from your graveyard instead. Protection. We also have in our side deck here 1 Driver, 1 Nibiru, 1 Pankratops, 1 Ghost Ogre, 1 Ghost Bell, triple Gamma with 1 Feather Duster, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Waking the Dragon, 1 Dimensional Barrier, and 1 copy of Anti-Spell Fragrance, wrapping up Altergeist for us. Alright, moving on along here, we also have Sky Striker Invoked. I'm not quite sure what is going on here with this contraption, because the OCG just got 3 multi-roll. They have 2 engage still, but yet we're playing Invoked for whatever reason. I mean, producing an Alistair with a Makaba in the extra monster zone, I feel like just cuts off your extension plays. Like, okay, so your goal is to want to produce, what, a Sky Striker monster in a Makaba? But in doing so, you're turning off your resource bin, unless TC Boo is actually just that absurd in this deck that you just get free wins, even though it doesn't matter if you can't use your Sky Striker stuff. Interesting, to say the least. Alright, so we have 1 copy of Pankratops here, 2 copies of Sky Striker Ace Ray, triple copies of Alistair the Invoker, triple copies of Asher Blossom and Joy Spring, 2 copies of Ghost Bell in the Haunted Mansion, and of course, triple copies of Maxi to ensure that we can get that maximized draw power, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Jamming Waves, 1 Rhoda, 2 copies of Mind Control, 2 copies of Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. Like I said, like they have this card in multiples. Like I don't see why they wouldn't want to play. It's just such a strange combination. 1 Terraforming, 2 copies of Invocation, 1 Afterburners, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, 1 Shark Cannon, 1 Hornet Drones, 1 Set Rotation, 2 copies of Widow Anchor, triple copies of Multi-Roll, 2 copies of Magical Meltdown, 1 Area Zero, by the way, and triple copies of There Can Only Be One. Extra down here, we have 1 Artemis, 2 copies of Shizuku, 1 Kagari, 2 Hayate, 1 Zeke, 1 the Alistair the Madness Invoker, 1 Unicorn, 1 Access Code, with 1 Rasian, 1 Purgatrio, 1 Agoides, and 2 copies of Makaba. Side deck here we have 2 copies of Nibiru, triple copies of Lancia, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 1 Lightning Storm, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Infinite Permanence, and triple copies of Dimension Barrier, wrapping up Invoked Sky Striker. I still can't wrap my head around the concept of what we're trying to do with this deck, because quite honestly, like, I understand that, like, it feels so conflicting to me. Guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about this giant cluster. Like, do you think if the TCG was still going at the rate we were going, we could have seen something like this? Because that's a hot take right there. All right, last but not least here, Pendulum. We got some love here for Pendulum. All right. They just got 2 Scroll Combat Jokers back, by the way, all right? Which means their Pendulum toolbox is good to go. They get the chance to start abusing some fun stuff. So we have 2 copies of Mr. Odd Eye's Revolution Dragon. We can go search for, you know, our dragon pendulums. We have 1 copy of Astrograph Sorcerer, 1 Gate Zero, triple copies of Oath Dragon, 1 copy of Chronograph Sorcerer. Still weird this is limited there. 1 copy of Stargazer, 1 copy of Darkworm, 2 copies of the Scroll Combat Joker, triple copies of Black Fang Magician, triple copies of Wisdom Eye, 1 copy of Double Iris, triple copies of the Performapal Celestial Magician. This card's really freaking good, by the way. Triple copies of Mr. Pendulum Performapal Sorcerer, triple copies of Purple Poison Man with the 1 Harmonizing, 1 Time Gazer, 2 copies of his Archfiend Eccentric. That's interesting. So this is your Spell and Trap popper right here. I'm actually surprised we're playing this. We have triple copies of Asher Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 copy of the Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron, 1 Effect Veiler with triple copies of Duelist Alliance with the Old Star Pendulum Graph, and 1 copy of the Time Pendulum Graph. Alright, down here in the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Halki Fibrex, 1 copy of Electromite. I still wish that we had this for cool Pendulum plays. I feel you, Triff. I really do, alright? We have 1 Boral Sword, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Castel, 1 Baguski, 1 copy of Time Star, Mr. Metaphys Horus himself, Coral Dragon, Shooting Riser, Omega, Ignister Providence, Borreload Savage, and, of course, their Pendulum deck is better than ours. They have frickin' Starving Venom Dragon! Alright, the fact that they can do the FTK there is a little bit absurd in a way. Also, they still have this, like, the TCG straight outright banned this because we didn't want to deal with the degeneracy that this card was. Side deck here we have 1 Driver, triple copies of Nibiru, 2 copies of Apex Avian. Cool thing with this, you Pendulum summon this, alright? It was kind of the same logic we saw in the TCG, where we were playing 1 Thunder Dragon, so you could discard it, grab 2, and then you could just Pendulum summon both, and you could make 2 Colossus on your opponent. It's really cheesy. We also have triple Gamma, triple copies of Lightning Storm, 1 Feather Duster, and 2 copies of Mind Control, wrapping up your round of OCG Thursday. So guys, make sure you smash the ever-living crap out of the subscribe button. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these decks as well. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on today for some more cool, awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.